This brief video is going to inform you about a subtle but very important part of the way that Lab 6 was set up, and it's something that you will need to structure in a similar manner for Programming Assignment 3. So Lab 6, this is a partial implementation of Lab 6. So remember, we have these round heads, and they are displayed, in the MUPanel part of the output window, and there's buttons that are in the MUFrame part of the window. So I can click the move round heads and they move, and I can click change mood and they change from happy to sad or sad to happy. Okay. But the way that these classes in Lab 6 were structured is very important. So there's an MUFrame and an MUPanel, and then also the roundhead class, which defines what each individual little object can do. Well, the MUPanel is this part of the output window with the white background in which the roundheads are drawn. Okay, and that's similar to the MUPanels that we had in our previous drawing programs, Lab 2, Lab 3, Programming Assignment 1. Okay, and where we can declare the visual objects, like in this case the roundheads, instantiate them with values, and then ask them to do things. Okay. The MUFrame is the larger part of the window, and that's where we put these buttons. Okay, and there's a little bit of a complication because the MUFrame doesn't contain the roundhead objects. The MUFrame doesn't know anything about roundheads. All the MUFrame knows about is the buttons that it has and the MUPanel. So I think I want to illustrate this with an image. Well, first of all, let me look at the code here. So the roundhead class, and this is you had to make some changes to the roundhead class for Lab 6. Has a constructor method, and then these methods draw and move vertically, move horizontally, change mood. Okay, so for example, move horizontally has this if statement, and then you add the horizontal step size to over. Or change mood. We can change the is happy to not is happy, which changes true to false and false to true. Okay, so the roundhead has all of the methods that we can ask an individual roundhead to do something, like move vertically, change mood, draw yourself. Okay, the MUPanel, okay, this is where we declare this. We instantiate them, giving them their starting values. And then in Paint component, we ask them to draw themselves. And then there are these other helper methods, like move objects, where we ask each object to move vertically and move horizontally. Or change object's mood, where we ask each of the roundheads to change its mood. Okay. Now, why do we have to have that? Because the MUFrame, okay, here's the designer for MUFrame, right? It just has the buttons. But if you look at the source of the MUFrame, there's no roundheads in here. Okay? All there is a reference to the MUPanel, and then in the I'm not sure what happened there, but in the action performed for the this is in the MUFrame. When the move button is clicked, we have to ask the MUPanel, hey MUPanel, move all the objects that you have inside you, and then repaint yourself. And for change the change mood button, it's the same thing. We're asking the MUPanel to call its change objects mood method, and then the repaint method. So I have a couple images here which I'm going to use to illustrate this. So the idea is the roundhead class over here on the right. This is where we have the methods down here in the bottom part of this rectangle are what we can ask a roundhead to do. We can ask it to draw itself. We can ask it to move vertically. We can ask it to change mood, etc. Okay. In the MUFrame, for the buttons, we can't ask a roundhead to move itself or change because it doesn't. MUFrame doesn't know anything about the roundheads. The roundheads are declared in the MUPanel here in the middle. So we have roundheads, first one, second one, third one, whatever. And then we have these methods in the MUPanel, move objects and change objects moods. And that's where we ask each of the roundheads that is declared in MUPanel to call its change mood method, or to call its move vertically, move horizontally method. Okay, so what ends up happening is MUFrame, when we click on the move button, okay, it calls the move objects method of MUPanel. So when we click on the move button, it calls the move objects button of MUPanel, and that has the code in it to call move vertically and move horizontally for each of the roundhead objects that it has there. Similarly, when you click on the change mood button, it calls the change object moods, or change objects mood, I guess I misspelled that, in MUPanel. Okay, and then repaints itself. So you're going to need to structure your programming assignment 3 in a similar manner. You're going to have a background object, and you're going to have objects that you're going to be drawing, but you won't declare them in the frame. You'll declare them in the MUPanel. So the MUPanel is going to have your background object and your other objects, and you will instantiate them in the MUPanel constructor, and then you'll ask them to draw themselves in the MUPanel paint component. But then also you're going to have these methods to cause them to change. Okay, and so you need methods like the MUPanel from Lab 6 for your MUPanel for Program 3. And then what will happen is, in the MUFrame, in the action performed for your buttons, you will call these methods from the MUPanel that will change your background or change your objects. Okay, so it's very important to have it's this two-layer structure. The objects that you have are declared in MUPanel, and then in MUFrame you have buttons which will call this helper method in MUPanel that will actually ask each of the objects that MUPanel knows about to change itself. And you end up with an application that has objects in the MUPanel, buttons in the MUFrame, and everything's tied together correctly. So if you have questions, ask your instructor, and good luck and have fun with programming assignment 3.